please subscribe to our channel. According to the Bible, Jacob's ladder refers to a meeting place between earth and heaven. Directed by Adrian Lyne, Jacob's Ladder is a metaphysical horror film about a man, Jacob Singer, whose existence seems to be fractured between several time frames, and perhaps different realities. Jacob's Ladder opens to a smoky Mekong Delta, in Vietnam in 1971. Before coming under attack, a platoon of American infantrymen sits around, sweating and joking. Just as Private Jacob Singer is stabbed with a bayonet by an unseen assailant, he awakens on a dingy New York City subway carriage. The nightmare flashback shocks him, and when he moves into another carriage, he spots a demonic tentacle by the feet of another passenger in the corner of his eye. Realizing he's somehow locked inside an empty subway station, Jacob is almost hit by a train filled with white, faceless figures. He goes home to his girlfriend Jezebel at their grotty Brooklyn apartment and flips through a pile of old photographs delivered by his son. The photos make Jacob smile and cry at once, filled with nostalgia over his old life with his ex-wife Sarah and 3 kids, one of which died as a child. Jacob slips the portrait of young Gabe in his wallet and heads to his job as a postal clerk. Strange visions and events continue to plague Jacob's everyday life, including flashes of vibrating demons and almost getting run over by a pursuing car. When he visits his doctor, the receptionist says there's no record of a Jacob Singer, before her hat falls off to reveal a bony horn protruding from her head. When he runs for his doctor's old office, Jacob finds he died in a car explosion last month. Later, Jacob attends a house party where a psychic tells him the lifeline on his palm claims he's already dead. When Jezzy asked Jacob to dance, images flash before him of a grotesque creature penetrating her on the dance floor, causing him to scream and collapse. Before returning to his life in Brooklyn, first-person flashbacks of the Vietnam War saturate the screen, where Jacob is being rescued by a helicopter crew. Mortified, Jezzy takes Jacob home, where he runs up a fever of 106 degrees Fahrenheit and gets submerged into a bath of ice water, narrowly avoiding death by hyperpyrexia. Cutting to another reality, Jacob wakes up next to Sarah in their old family home, telling her to close the window before Gabe enters and asks to be tucked in. Jacob mopes around the house during recovery, obsessively reading books on demonology and irritating Jezzy with his new, reclusive lifestyle. An old war buddy calls and asks to meet Jacob at a bar, where he confesses to experiencing similar demonic hallucinations. Despite carrying a Bible with him, the visions persist, pushing Paul to the brink of insanity. Leaving the bar, Paul is killed in a car explosion, just like Jacob's doctor. At the funeral, the rest of the platoon survivors discuss their frightening apparitions, realizing it must be something to do with their time in the army, a time that none of them can fully remember. They approach a lawyer, but he refuses to take their case because there's no record of a Jacob Singer in Vietnam. Jacob persists with the lawsuit but gets kidnapped by a passing car after his friends drop out and told to drop it. He wrestles himself out of the moving vehicle and onto the street, slipping a disc in his back, leaving him paralyzed. Jacob is taken into hospital, wheeled down multiple, increasingly dark floors, until reaching a gruesome underground asylum. Abused mental patients litter the rooms, where bloodied limbs are piled along the walls. Jacob's head is bolted still, and a surgeon tells Jacob he is dead before Jezzy appears in scrubs. A man with no eyes plunges a syringe into Jacob's forehead, and he awakens in a normal, if a depressing, hospital, visited by Sarah and his 2 kids. Jacob's chiropractor wheels him out of the hospital to his own office, cracking his back into place again. When Jacob cries to Louis that he just experienced hell, literally, Louis responds with a quote from a 14th century mystic. "The only thing that burns in hell is the part of you that won't let go of life, your memories, your attachments. They burn them all away. But they're not punishing you. They're freeing your soul. So, if you're frightened of dying and you're holding on, you'll see devils tearing your life away. But if you've made your peace, then the devils are really angels, freeing you from the earth." A mysterious man calls and asks to meet Jacob outside a coffee van back at home. It's the same man Jacob had seen at the bar when Paul died, who's been following Jacob for some time. The man explains how he was forced to synthesize mind-altering drugs by the army to avoid jail time, and they're made a powerful hallucinogenic called the latter. The drug taps into the user's primal fear and ruthless anger, created so that soldiers may defeat the Viet Cong with unmatched force. However, when they tested it on a group of infantrymen, Jacob's platoon, they turned on each other in a homicidal fever. This triggers a memory in Jacob, that the man who stabbed him was a fellow soldier. Jacob returns to his family home, where Gabe is sat playing on the stairs. After hugging his father, Gabe guides Jacob up the staircase, towards a blinding yellow light. This light merges into the light bulb of a triage tent, 1971, where Jacob is declared dead from his wounds, his face appearing utterly at peace. The final scene confirms that Jacob was pronounced dead on the field in 1971, so between then and going into the light with Gabe, we can assume Jacob was in a state of limbo between life and death. This is why he is able to see demons that nobody else can. So that's Jacob's Ladder film summary and ending explained. I hope you like this video. Please leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. See you in another video. Bye.